Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Harakak and double honors to the elder apostles, Great Millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same, teaching the same. All right. Pretty much the title of this lesson will be, about the concentration camps, and these detention centers. Okay. And Trump and they're getting ready, for for martial law. All right. And they're getting ready to put, a lot of you Israelites, most of you who are not of the elect are going to get caught, in this judgment. All right. And Lord willing, them of the elect number. Okay. But you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Jacob's trouble is upon you. All right. And that might be the title of the lesson. Jacob's trouble is upon you. Okay. And beginning with the elder apostles, great millstone on down to the least of us, we always say, Jacob's trouble has already started, but it's going to continue to get worse and worse. Okay. So this is an article by KSAT.com. It says Trump's $45 billion expansion of immigrant detention sites face pushback from communities. All right. And I'm probably not going to read all of this. Trump has been buying a lot of huge detention warehouses. All right. And, these are going to be your concentration camps. All right. And FEMA been doing the same as well. All right. They got a lot of, concentration camps. It's thousands of them throughout Babylon the Great America. Okay. So they're preparing. That should let you know, that should let you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, who are the 12 tribes, God's chosen people, that should let you know that something is coming. All right. So they're getting ready for people to flip out. All right. When they crash this system. Okay. All right. And they're going to come down with great wrath on you tribes. They already are. Okay. Hundreds and hundreds of, beginning with the Northern Kingdom. All right. They're dying in these detention centers. They're coming up missing. They're getting thrown off planes into the, in the middle of nowhere. All right. So a lot of judgment, is happening, and it's starting with the, the northern tribes, but it's going to also include, the southern tribes too. So you've been warned by the prophets of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, to repent, and never trust your enemy. Your enemy being the other nations outside of the 12 tribes. All right, your chief enemy that rules the world being Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, and that they're about to come down with great wrath, and they're about to implement their new world order, okay, in the mark of the beast. Excuse me, okay, in the mark of the beast is their RFID chip and their Neuralink. But anyone that's that resists, they're going to be put into these concentration camps. All right. And the ones that they deem the ones that can't be rehabilitated, all right, or persuaded into taking the mark of the beast and accepting the new world order and just get following orders, the ones that can't do that and refuse to do that, they're going to kill. All right. So these are the times coming ahead. All right. So I'm going to read a little bit out of this article and get some precepts and close out. With tensions high over federal immigration enforcement, some states. Wait, hold on. Make sure I ain't go down. Okay. It says some state and local officials are pushing back against the Trump administration attempts to house thousands of detained immigrants in jails, converted warehouses, and privately run facilities in their communities. All right. And it's already been reported. They're locking up 5-year-olds. You know, um, it's different ages that's being locked up. In these concentration camps. Okay. So it says federal officials have been scouting cities and counties across the U.S. for places to hold immigrants as they roll out a massive $45 billion expansion of detention facilities financed by President Donald Trump's recent tax-cutting law. Okay? So they went from deporting the so-called immigrants to, now putting them in concentration camps. All right? And like I've been saying in other videos, this is going to include everybody. Okay? The laws that's being passed, it may seem like it's just focusing on illegal immigrants and criminals and things like that, but that's going to affect everybody. All right? Including you Christians. Okay? So that hour of temptation, all right, is when the mark of the beast is made mandatory, that RFID chip is made mandatory. Okay? That's going to affect everybody. All right? So you Christians, and we already know you Christians going to fail the test. You're going to get scared. You're not going to want to feel that sting of death. For one, you don't know what's going on. All right? You believe in a false God. All right? And you don't have no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to stable you for the troubling times to come. So you're just going to fold and hurry up and take it just so you can, feed your family or whatever. All right? So these are the times that's coming. All right? And like the elder apostles always say, when this day come, and it's coming fast, you're gonna see all these false prophets. They're gonna have a lot to answer for. All you false prophets that's saying, the mark of the beast is everything except for what it really is. All right, which is the RFID chip. Okay, so those of you that's, you false prophets, spreading your false doctrine and saying the mark of the beast is sin and all this other stuff, you're going to be looking stupid when, that day come. Okay? And I'm not going to read too much of this article, all right? And it's videos on YouTube you can watch on it, all right? But basically, Trump, they're funding ICE with billions and billions of dollars, and they buying up dozens of warehouses. Okay? Huge warehouses. Okay? They can hold thousands of people. So let's get some precepts. All right. And then when the shift happened, the military personnel, they'll already be in place to just go ahead and implement martial law. All right. You're going to have the problem, the reaction, and they're going to come with the solution. All right. But Esau is playing into prophecy. That's what they don't know. They're playing into the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. So this Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right? And that devil is talking about on this earth being Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, who has the power to cast you into prison. All right, into these concentration camps. All right. So we understand, this is prophecy, and that some of us, will get caught, okay, and put into these predicaments, okay. And this is what Esau is getting ready to do. This Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. Only the elect is going to be saved from the great tribulation, also known as Jacob's trouble. All right. And let me go to 2 Ezra 16. This 2 Ezra 16:70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Right. So we're entering, that great tribulation. All right. Jacob's trouble is going to continue to grow and grow to reach its, its full potential. All right. So we knee deep in it. All right. And that time is closely approaching. All right. All right. And like Elder Apostle Tar said, 2/3, this includes, all Israelites. All right. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Because 2/3, to a certain degree, they do fear the Lord. They just they lack knowledge. Our people is destroyed for a lack of knowledge. All right. So they don't truly know the Lord. Only the hopeful elect truly know the Lord, and Lord willing them of their number. Truly know Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Okay. So Esau is about to come with great wrath on all the tribes. Okay. And it says, the Lord is going to make that distinction. Okay. In Jacob's trouble, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah is going to make that distinction between the elect chosen and the non-elect and the non-chosen. So that distinction is going to be made between the 2/3 and the 1/3. Who the Lord dealing with, who Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah is protecting, and who he's not. All right. And it's not to get confused with Revelation 20:4 and Revelation 2:10, because we know according to prophecy, some of the elect will be martyrs. Okay. All right. So it says here verse 74. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Okay? So Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah is going to fight for the elect. The Lord is going to provide for the elect. Okay? For the hopeful elect, and the Lord willing of that number. All right, 144. This Psalms 34, and bear with me, I'm trying to find the precept. Here you go. Psalms 34:7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. That's right. So Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah is going to have that hedge of protection around his, the elect, the hopeful elect. All right, the men, women, and children that's of the elect. All right, and Lord willing, them of the elect number. Okay, and especially with the men, because Isaiah 4:1, women are going to notice that. All right, I'm not going to get the precept, but women is going to notice that, the Hebrew Israelite men of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, the Lord is going to be, they're going to know that the Lord is dealing with those men. All right, and they're going to see how the Lord is taking care of, those men of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah. And women are going to, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, which is not a literal number. It's, it's going to be any number for different brothers, different prophets. Okay? Because they're going to see that the Lord is truly with, these men. All right? And so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Harakak Badash, and double honors to the old apostles, great millstone, willing to teach well, and honest and salutations to the men of the Lord, teaching the same and doing the same. Shalom.